Okay, we are at the home of Cynthia Castro, and today's date is March the 16th, 2019, and address is 1042 Park Hill Drive, West Palm Beach, 33417. I already said your name. Cynthia, when is your date of birth?
August 17th, 1952.
Okay, and who's attending the interview is also myself, Carlton Cartwright. I'm the executive director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated, and my camera person is Augustine Gonzalez. Okay, and let's see. What wars did you serve in?
Desert Storm.
Desert Storm. And what branch of service were you in?
Army.
Okay. What was your rank when you separated?
Staff Sergeant E6.
Okay, and where did you serve?
I had basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I had OJT in Fort Sam Houston, Texas. I had OJT in Hawaii at Triple Arm Medical Center. I left there, and my first duty station was Fort Belvoir. I left Fort Belvoir and went to Korea. I was in Yongsan. I worked at the hospital. And then I left Yongsan, Korea, and went back to Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. I left Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and went to Fort Stewart, Georgia. I left Fort Stewart, Georgia, and went to Berlin. I left Berlin and came back to Walter Reed. I left Walter Reed and went to Sinop, Turkey. I left Turkey and came back to Walter Reed.
Okay. Wow. That was the best one of those that I'd ever gotten out of almost 180 interviews. And you had it all lined up and ready to go. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Were you drafted or enlisted?
I enlisted.
Okay. Where were you living at the time that you went into service?
I was living in Columbus, Georgia, and Fort Benning.
Okay. You were born there?
No, I was born in Tampa, Florida.
Okay, you were born in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing before you went in service?
I was a student at Tuskegee, and I graduated from Tuskegee, and I wound up in Columbus, Georgia, because I was with one of my best friends that I went to school with, but couldn't find a job. I would sub, do all kind of things. I even donated.
You would sub? What do you mean?
Substitute teach.
Oh, I did. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and had little minor jobs, and then one day we both decided that we was gonna sign up for the Army.
Okay, all right. Why did you join? Why?
Because everywhere I went for a job, I was either overqualified or underqualified.
Okay.
So you didn't need any experience for the military. So
why did you pick that branch?
Family, everybody in the family on my dad's side Army, and on my mom's side Army.
Okay. How old were you when you went in?
I was 22.
Okay. Okay. And do you recall your first days in like basic training?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did it feel like?
That was a nightmare. You know, you go in, you get to your first duty station, and they yell at you, tell you that U.S. Army stand for Uncle Sam ain't released you yet. You know, the drill sergeant yelling at me, telling me road guard posting. I'm like, what is he talking about? Because I just got there, you know, but they had everybody in formation and stuff. So it after I got used to it, I started just laughing at everything. They couldn't stand that, but I was just cracking up at everything they said. But that got me through basic.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
What year did you go in?
I went in November 16th, 1976.
Gotcha. Okay, tell me about boot camp and your training experiences.
Woo, Lord, I was never a physical person, and they had us doing so much. That first week, our barracks smelled like an old nursing home. Everybody had Bengay, any kind of ointment, because we were really sore, not used to working out and stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot my hat one day, and they made me walk around post with my hand on my head, so I won't ever forget to wear my hat anymore. It was just, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
The drill sergeant got mad with us because nobody in the company could shoot.
Okay.
They got upset with us and they made us march back from the rifle range saying Bolo Bravo, you know. So, but after that, what you look at is you're not doing this by yourself. You got a lot of people working with you, and everybody going through the same thing. So that's how we would bond.
Right. What do you mean nobody could shoot?
Nobody had shot a weapon, so they tried to zero your weapon in and all that stuff. But even with all of that, none of us could shoot. I was actually scared of a gun because I heard about it blowing up in your face. So.
Oh Lord. Did anything like that ever happen?
Oh no, thank goodness.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, and where did you take your basic training? Where?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina, B-17-5.
And how long were you there?
3 months? Yeah, I was there the end of November, December, and January.
Okay. Did you attend technical school?
I was sent to Fort Sam Houston, Texas for medical.
Oh, okay. And how long was that tech school?
Ooh. Actually, gosh, about 12 weeks, I think, and then
Another 3 months?
Yeah, and then they sent us to, at that time they were doing OJT, and they sent us to Hawaii for OJT.
Oh, okay.
On the job training, yeah.
Okay, so you go to Hawaii, and how long were you there?
I was in Hawaii about 8 weeks.
Okay. So how was the tech school in Texas?
Oh, it was a challenge, but while I was there, they came up with this new MOS. That's your specialty. They came up with this new MOS, 91 Charlie, but the short school, because they had the long school for 91 Charlie, but then they decided to make a short school, and I was in that. And it went pretty fast. You just had to be mindful and be able to study real quick, to learn what you needed to do. Mm-hmm. But what I liked about the medical field was it was a lot of hands-on. It's like star navies and drawing blood, and we practice on each other a lot. So, you get used to doing things like that, because in real life, that's what you'd be doing,
Right. Do you remember any of your instructors?
Actually, nobody left an impression on me. I can't remember.
No? Okay, how did you feel about, like in tech school, as well as basic training and tech school, were there any of your peers or officers or instructors that you had any memorable experiences with? Did you go on leave while you were?
Because we went in November, they did let us go home for Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to go home.
For Christmas, yeah.
And where was home?
West Palm Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay. Come back home. Okay, here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you did get to go on leave. Okay. So all right. After tech school, where did you go?
I had on-the-job training in Hawaii.
Right. So what was Hawaii like?
Oh my goodness, that was a dream.
Tell me about it.
That was a dream assignment. We were assigned to Tripler Hospital, and they would always describe it as the big hospital on the hill. And we got a chance, being that it was a medical center, we were going from floor to floor, doing things, pediatrics, male surgical floor, female surgical floors. You got exposed to a lot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you felt like they did a good job.
Oh yeah.
Getting you the experience that you needed.
Oh yeah.
So okay, where did you go after Hawaii?
Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
And how long were you there?
I was in Fort Belvoir 2 years. Yeah, 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. And when I left OJT and went to Fort Belvoir, fortunately I was not working in the hospital. We was in the MASH hospital, where they had these big balloons. So we would go set up hospitals out in the field.
Right.
But it had air conditioning and all that stuff in it, because it wasn't the regular tents. They were the big bubbles. So the whole hospital would be out there in the field, and we stay out there and treat patients, everything, just like a regular hospital.
Did you just stay on the Big Island, or did you go experience the other islands?
I just stayed on the Big Island.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what was that like?
It was really nice.
Did you get out and see the terrain?
Yeah, I got out and saw the terrain. I even rented a car and drove around it. Got nervous because I don't like bridges and I really don't like mountains, you know. But I even drove over there, and we just had a good time. The people in Hawaii was so funny because people always want to know what you were mixed with. I guess there's no pure race anymore, so everybody would like, well, what you mixed with? I'm like, I'm not mixed with anything. I'm just black. No, you got something else in you. I'm like, okay. You know, that seemed to be a norm. Everybody all mixed up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you say you were there for only 8 weeks, 2 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you go after that?
Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Back to Belvoir. Okay, back there again.
Oh no, when I left OJT, I had OJT before I went to Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were telling me. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
So now, how long were you in Virginia now?
2 years.
And so, what was the duty assignment?
I was a 9-1 Bravo medic that was assigned to a MUSH unit.
Okay.
Where we went out in the field and saw patients.
And what were those experiences? Were you getting veterans back from war, or what was your field experience?
We'd have to set up and move, you know, set up the hospital. Then if the enemy come, you have to move, you know, you couldn't let them know where you were, so you move at night and all that good stuff.
So this was maneuvers?
Yeah, more
Okay.
or less,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And you did that for a solid 2 years?
Well,
Operational readiness?
Yeah, we'd come in and do stuff around post, and they'd give us a chance to rotate in the hospital since we weren't working in the hospital all the time. They would give us a chance to rotate in the hospital, and we had regular duties that we do.
Okay, so were you seeing combat veterans coming back? What hospital was it?
It was DeWitt Army Hospital in Fort Belvoir.
Okay. Were you seeing combat vets?
No.
Okay. Did you, up to this point, through the several places that you had been, were there any casualties of any type, kind, accidents?
Not that I remember.
Okay. All right. And so it was a pretty smooth 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Just like getting up and going to work every day?
Yeah.
Pulling a regular 8-hour shift?
Well, no, you didn't pull a regular 8-hour shift because you, like I said, you know, you had your 24-hour duty and you had other duties that you'd have to do, guard duty.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
24-hour duty?
Yeah.
Like the working for the
CQ.
fire department?
Yeah.
So you'd be at work for one full day?
Mm-hmm.
How?
At night.
And then how? Then you would be off for a day, or?
Yeah. When you got off that morning,
Uh-huh.
you'd be off, and then you go to work the next day.
24 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
So it was off and on, didn't matter, Saturday, Sunday, nothing.
Didn't matter.
Okay. All right. During that 2-year period, did you go on vacation? Go on R&R?
Yeah, I went home. You know, you
Just-
got 30 days leave a year, so.
So you go anywhere else? Up to Washington, or
No, well, I was right there, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, Alexandria. all
is
that's
that where it's
there.
right there to all of that? Okay. So how was that experience interacting with those personnel?
It was pretty good. That's why I met my first husband in Fort Belvoir, and my first.
Okay, so we're in Korea now,
Mm-hmm.
and what was your?
I was assigned to 121 Evac Hospital
Okay.
in Korea.
Sorry, I think you said it already, but how long were you there?
A year. You know, that was only like a year to 13-month tour.
Okay, and what year was this by now?
This was 79, the end of 79, 80. The guys that was up on the DMZ, they said, you know, it wasn't nothing to fire back and forth, you know, at each other, but it wasn't nothing major.
Okay. Any casualties?
No.
Okay. All right. So you were there for a year. You're in Korea. Did you, when you went on R&R, did you experience any other place in that theater besides Korea? Go to Japan or Philippines?
Hawaii.
Oh, you went back to Hawaii? You like that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you make a lot of friends up to this point while you traveling around?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Stay in touch?
For a while, but I was moving around so much. Actually, I stayed in contact with the civilians more than the military people.
Okay. To this day?
To this day.
Really? Cool. That's cool. That's pretty cool. You ever go back after the service and visit Hawaii?
No, it's so expensive.
Right.
And I got kids now, so
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
but one day I'll do it.
I hear you. Okay, so what were the officers and your peer Army personnel?
In Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, enlisted and knew to respect the officers, but we got along really well because working in the hospital is like a different kind of atmosphere, different vibe, yeah.
Right.
So we got along real good. We worked together well.
And what kind of shifts did you have there?
I did night shifts all the time because at that time when I was stationed over there, you couldn't go out at night, so I worked the night shifts, and I let the young guys get out and mingle with the Korean girls.
Okay. Why couldn't you go out at night? What do you mean they?
We were restricted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, you couldn't. They didn't want you out at night.
So was that was South Korea, correct? Was Seoul?
Yeah, but if you were a soldier, you weren't supposed to be out after 12 o'clock.
Really? After midnight? Yeah, that was a curfew.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that. So, what were things out like on the economy when you went out?
Oh, it was really reasonable. Koreans are talented people. They could sew, paint, just do anything. I still got a painting of what they painted me when I was young in Korea. It still held up, but the clothes, because they said the thread was so cheap,
Yeah.
they didn't last that long. I got along, it was really nice. Sometimes the merchants, they would get upset with me and call me a cheap GI. Because, they expect you to bargain with them, but I bargained with them until they just got tired of me, so. You're a cheap GI. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna get your money's worth out.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. All right, so you were there for a year. Where did you go after that?
Fort Monmouth, New Jersey.
Okay, I'm trying to remember if I've even heard of that. How long were you there?
I was there almost a year, and then I put in for joint domicile to be with my husband in Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Was he in the military? Okay. So what did you do while you were in New Jersey for a year?
I was a medic working in the hospital. It was a small post. It was 5 generals on that one small post, and they told me Fort Monmouth don't even exist anymore. It wasn't that far from. It really wasn't that far from Fort Dix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
That's where they trained the chaplains.
At Fort Dix?
At Fort Monmouth.
Fort Monmouth.
Chaplains, yeah.
Oh, all right. All right. So any incidences that stood out while you were there?
No.
Just business as usual. What kind of shifts were you working?
Mostly evenings. I would work evenings.
What is that?
So
12 to 8 or
3 to 11.
3 to 11? Okay. Okay. All right. What'd you do in the daytime?
I had a little girl at that time, and
So you were mommy.
yeah.
Okay. How did you entertain yourself the majority of the time so far up to this point?
Oh, I meet people. We play cards. I missed Thanksgiving one year playing cards because I stayed up all night through Thanksgiving playing cards. So I used to love to play spade. I didn't never do bid whist, but I played spade.
Did you gamble?
No.
No.
I'll tell you what. They had a bus going to Atlantic City, and I just went for the experience. And I tell you, I ain't gambled no more. I have no desire, because that first time it did me in. I spent everything I had, even my bus fare back. I had to borrow it. So.
Oh Lord.
That was enough.
About how much money was that?
It wasn't but about about $100 and something, but I
Okay.
spent it all.
But you learned your lesson.
Hmm.
Okay.
I need some returns on my money.
I got you. You want to get some ROI, huh? I got you. I understand. All right, so you were there for a year, then you went
The Fort Stewart.
and joined your husband.
Yeah,
Fort Stewart, what state?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, and how long was that tour?
I stayed there. That's when we broke up. Me and my ex-husband, we broke up from there. But I stayed in Stewart almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was the duty?
Whew, out in the field. R-taps and alerts and anything. That was 24th Infantry Division.
Okay.
So we did it all. And I think we were the first unit they start sending to NTC, National Training Center out in California for desert training.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
And you would go out there periodically?
Yeah, I would always be on the advanced party because I was a medic.
How
So-
often did you go? Every month or?
No, they broke it down to like every 6 months.
Then you would go
They rotate.
to California.
Hmm.
How long would you stay?
30 days.
A month at a time?
Yeah,
Oh, tour duty, okay.
yeah.
And what was that comprised of? You go out there for a month and
We
what?
go out and actually the National Guard and the Reserve would be our patients. And it looked like they wouldn't go to the doctor until they came to the field. Oh my goodness. The whole time they were out, they were truly patients because we'd have to move the hospital. You know, we had night movement. We had to tear the hospital down at night. And we had to pick them up and put them on a litter because we needed actual patients for make it real.
Mm-hmm.
They do night driving. Actually, one of our drivers fell asleep. We was wondering why the convoy wasn't moving. He had fell asleep. But you work in the field. That's hard work because putting up, taking down, and moving patients.
Right.
It was hard.
So where did these patients come from? What was wrong with them? They were sick.
The National Guard folks, they weren't sick. They were pretend patients, but a lot of them we would see them if they had medical problems, dental problems. They get it fixed out there in the field.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So northing, just normal illnesses? I mean, how do you even term an illness as being normal? But
Like colds, headaches, infectious disease, toothaches.
okay, all right. And how long did that go on? How long were you, how long were you involved going back and forth between Georgia and California?
I did it twice, but other units did it more than that. But I did it twice.
What was the length of time for each one?
30 days.
Oh, okay, just okay.
30 days of training. It was training.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you were in Georgia for how long? 3 years?
Almost 3 years, not quite.
So where'd you go after that?
Berlin, Germany.
And how long were you in Berlin?
Ooh, 3 years. That was a 3-year tour.
That was a 3-year tour, and you told me that was before the wall came down.
Before the wall came down.
So what years were those?
I was there from 85 to 88.
Okay, all right. And what did you? So what was that tour like?
It was different. It really was, but I found Berlin to be. The streets were really clean in Berlin. They had the Berlin bombings, LaBelle bombing, the club bombing when I was over there. Now
Wow.
that they was calling everybody up for. They had the LaBelle's bombing, and then they had Chernobyl while we were over there.
Mm.
And they didn't think it had reached as far as we were stationed at, but it did because some people had cancer behind that. But you got to prove it, and they didn't want to go through mountains of paperwork. But yeah, Chernobyl went on when we was over there.
Okay, so did you see cancer patients?
No. Not over there.
Okay. No. Okay.
But one incident, these two MPs military police were playing around. They were best buddies. They were playing around and horsing around with their weapons. And the best friend shot the other best friend, and that was crazy. Because when somebody get shot in the chest, you really can't do CPR on them,
Right.
You try to do CPR on them, blood just gushing everywhere.
Right.
So we lost that young man. That was pretty sad
Uh-huh.
because that was the guy's friend, you know.
Yeah.
So to pay twice for, you know, that was his friend, and he ended up going to jail too. That was kind
Oh
of
my
sad.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So any other? Okay. So when did you get to see any other parts of Europe besides Berlin? Germany?
Yeah, but well, because we were in Berlin and the way it was set up, the wall, we'd have to have a lot of paperwork to go anywhere because I went to Bremerhaven to pick up my car.
Okay.
So I had to get a whole lot of paperwork done, get it stamped and all that stuff to go to Bremerhaven to pick up my car, and I drove it back from Bremerhaven to Berlin.
So you didn't go outside of Germany for the 3 years?
No,
Okay. All right. So where did you? I would imagine you had pretty good experience otherwise besides that one incident.
Oh yeah.
Any other casualties?
You know, the LaBelle's bombing that they did at the nightclub.
I don't see you were there until from what years to what year?
85 to 88.
Okay, I was out of the service by that time.
Okay.
So that was something I heard about after I come back home. So where was that? What was it? How many casualties?
It was a nightclub and
Military people in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One guy, before he passed on, they had took off his legs and his arms, and he got burnt up. But you know what's funny? They gave those soldiers, and some people were criticizing it. They got Purple Hearts for clubbing, but that, you know, because of what happened,
Right.
I guess they qualified for
Because they were in the military.
Purple Heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. How many people died?
3. I think it was just 3.
Okay.
But,
And
yeah.
how many wounded? If you know.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how far was that club from the base?
That was like downtown in the Kudorf. You ever heard of that? The Kudorf is right downtown in Berlin.
No. I only got to go there once.
The
For
Kudorf.
one weekend.
Yeah, the Kudorf. That's what it was, the Kudorf.
Right. Okay. Wow. All right. So where did you go after Berlin?
After Berlin, I went to Walter Reed.
Back to what state?
In D.C.
In D.C., right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how long were you stationed there this time?
I was at Walter Reed 2 years. Yeah. 2 years before I came down on orders for Turkey. That was Desert Storm.
Okay. And was it a smooth 2 years? Any incidences? Any?
No, except, you know, I had my second child in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had the third baby, I had to leave her at 3 months to go to Turkey because Desert Storm jumped off. And they didn't care. And thank God I had a mom that, you know, supported me.
Right.
You know, through the military service.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So how long were you at Walter Reed this time?
2 years before I went to Turkey.
Did you travel around? What did you do on leave?
Yeah. I go to Baltimore and the Carolinas and Virginia because all that's right there.
Right.
New York.
Okay.
So
you got out and experienced some more of the eastern seaboard, the coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So now you're going to go to Turkey for how long?
I went to Turkey for a year, and I found the people over there to be really nice. You know, besides the point that everybody think Muslims are mean or terrorists. I rode a bus from Sinop, Turkey to Incirlik, Turkey, and I was the only American on that bus. The lady took me by the hand and she showed me where the bathrooms were when we stopped. She tried to get me some of her raw fish sandwich. I'm like, no, thank you, no thank you. You know, but they're really sweet people. You know, of course they have where at morning where they play the music for people to. They're very committed to their religion.
The prayers.
12 o'clock they do it, and I think it was 8 or 9 o'clock at night they would do that.
Like 3 times a day, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I enjoyed that tour too because I learned a lot. You see, you learn about people. You got good and bad people all over the world, you know. So
Right.
everybody's not evil because they one religion or one race, you know. So
Right. Okay, and how long were you there?
a year.
And okay, so casualties, did you see any combat? Did you see combat?
Not in Turkey, no.
Okay.
And you know, Desert Storm one, but one day, 24 hours, really. That was like bam, and it was done with.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so was that while you were in Turkey or next stop?
That was Turkey.
Okay, so Desert Storm happened during this tour,
Mm-hmm.
and were there any casualties that you came into contact with?
No, I didn't come in contact with any casualties.
Okay, all right.
Just where I was stationed at because I was a medic, but we was attached to a military intelligence unit, and they couldn't talk about what they did. We had one guy that had a heart attack behind the wire, but we couldn't go back there because we didn't have a top secret clearance, so we had to wait till they put him on a litter. They pushed him up under the wire so we could take care of him.
The wire. What is the wire?
It was physically wired, but they had all the equipment set up, and they didn't. No one could go past that, and then, so they had to lift it up.
What was on the other side of the wire from you?
That was the medical. It was the medics and other jobs that were stationed on the other side. We had secret clearances. We didn't have top security clearances.
That's bizarre that you wouldn't. I mean, it's your story, but anyway, that they would have no allowance for the medical personnel.
No, we hadn't been cleared like that.
Bizarre.
Yeah, we hadn't been cleared.
Okay. Okay, so what you were in Incirlik?
I was in Sinop. Incirlik
Sinop.
was where the hospital was.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Sorry. Well,
What were your shifts like?
In Turkey, we were on 24 hours because we were medics. But you don't get a day here or there. But at that time, I was in charge, so I was always on call.
What rank were you by that time?
I was E6.
Oh wow. Okay. Whoops. How many years in are we now by the time you got to Turkey?
14.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so now we moving over to Walter Reed, back to Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that tour like? How long were you there?
I was there till I got out.
For 6 years?
No, I was at Walter Reed. They medical retired me at 16 years, so I was there until
For a year?
93. Yeah.
So you only had one more year to do by the time you got there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was the tour? How long was the shift?
When I was in Turkey at Walter Reed.
Walter Reed.
Oh, Walter Reed, I was fortunate. At one time, I was just doing Monday through Friday, working in the clinics, you know, and then, of course, you'd have staff duty and CO where you have to go 24 hours and do your duty.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you had a medical separation?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Just a lot, you know. During that time before I got out, my dad was sick. My mother was sick. Everything was happening all at one time, kind of going crazy. So they just separated me on a medical.
Okay. Okay. So all right. Did what medals were you? I know you discussed.
Arcoms, yeah.
What are those?
It's where you get an award for doing outstanding service. Like when we had our RTAPs and stuff, I'd be out in the field and you have evaluators out there evaluating you while you're in the field, and if you do an exceptional job.
Right. How many of those did you receive?
I got about 5 Arcoms.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Any other citations or besides those?
No, just your regular little awards like we was in Berlin. You got your Occupied City little ribbon, and it's another ribbon we got. I can't think of it right now. But that was about it.
Okay. How did you stay in touch when you were overseas and away from your family? How did you stay in touch?
I knew the young man that worked in communications, and like when I was in Turkey, if I could only get through at 3 o'clock in the morning over there, I'd wait up and sit up. He'd say, "Okay, you can make your call back to the States."
Right.
Yeah.
So you were able to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you keep a personal diary?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you recall the last days you were in the service? You know, when the service ended. What was your mood? What was that like?
Actually, I was kind of relieved because I just don't want to leave my children with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my mother could no longer help me because she was really sick. So it was kind of like relief for me.
And that was back here in West Palm?
I moved from D.C. and came back here to West Palm.
Okay. So what did you do when you got out of the service?
I thought I was going to vacation a little bit, but because they separated me and I could draw unemployment. But I think after a month, I didn't even get an unemployment a month before I already had a job. My first job when I got out it wasn't DCF when I got out, it was HRS. Uh-huh. Then later on they changed to DCF.
Got it. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I don't even remember what that acronym stands for. Human what? Remember? DCF is the Department of Children and Families. Don't worry about it.
I don't remember.
Right. Me either. Did you go back? Did you use the GI Bill for anything, education or home?
For my home, the kids, they got education benefits from me being in the service.
Okay, good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you joined any veterans organizations?
I was with Vietnam vets, and then I lost a dear friend of mine to cancer, and I just didn't have the drive to do anything else.
Okay. I just became a member again, so.
A Vietnam vet?
Yeah, Chapter 25.
Okay.
Right. If you're interested, I can get you the hook up. No big deal.
Is Mr. Miller? No, Mr. Miller with the VFW.
Right. Well, yeah. I guess is he with the VFW? I'm not sure. Maybe.
He was one of them. He's on Facebook with. He's busy doing everything.
I know the American Legion, so.
Okay.
Right.
American Legion, okay.
Yeah.
I know it's one of them. He's busy all the time.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That is true. So last question, just tell us how your military experience affected your life. What influence did it have on your life?
It disciplined me for society, so far, even as taking care of myself, because I see a lot of people my age. I'm 67. I'll be 67 on my birthday. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people my age that haven't taken care of themselves and broke down and can't get around and stuff. So it disciplined me that way. I'm very patriotic. They laugh at me because I am patriotic. And one day we was just joking around, and I said, it's okay to take a knee. I said, but the flag ain't did nothing to nobody. It's just an inanimate object. It hadn't done anything.
Right.
So that might seem like it's making a statement, but not to me.
Speaking of which, did you have any negative racial experiences while you served? Over the 16-year period? Yeah.
Not only because of color, but because I was a woman, because...
I should have said discrimination, period.
Yeah. Like the field units I were in, the equipment was heavy. Those GP large tents, they were heavy.
Right.
But the guys were like, since we all make the same pay, y'all need to lift, y'all need to go on and do what y'all need to do. And I got smart with them one day, and I was like, if you got a cycle coming on, you can talk that junk, but if you don't have a cycle coming on, you better get out here and help me.
Right. What is a cycle? Were you talking about?
Administration.
Okay, I wanted to make sure there wasn't something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. But you managed. Apparently you had a successful career and you survived everything, no matter what. So
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your service. Do you feel like there's anything else that you needed, that you left out, that you wanted to add?
Well, I was involved in the church, and wherever I was, if I found a Church of God in Christ, those people came right there. Even when I was in Hawaii, the press, when they come and pick me up and feed me, and we fellowship and stuff, and that even in Texas. So that helped me a lot.
That's good. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you for the interview, and again, I want to thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your service.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Okay.